When I was in the hospital, they actually misdiagnosed me as a type 2 diabetic. So I went back, and after telling them that nothing was working, that's when they realized it was actually type 1 diabetes. The most difficult part about my diagnosis was being diagnosed in a pandemic year. I couldn't have anybody in the hospital, so it was just myself trying to figure out what was going on. You really don't have the family support you need when you're going through a diagnosis by yourself. When I first was diagnosed with diabetes, the management was very difficult because one thing that I didn't necessarily enjoy was the finger pricks. And it did bring a lot of anxiety because it wasn't as frequent as seeing my levels right on my phone. So the lucky thing for me is I got diagnosed in a day and age where there's a lot of technologies available that help you manage type 1 diabetes. And there's also people who are very outspoken about what they deal with on a day-to-day basis. So what I did as soon as I was diagnosed, I hit the internet and started researching what are the different types of technologies, and the Dexcom G6 was one of the great ones that was available. The features I really liked the most was the fact that it has a transmitter that transmits the information to my phone, to my watch, and it does give you that little bit of privacy and discretion if you don't feel a need to actually tell people what you're doing. And then secondly, it can warn me before I go low so that I can take the necessary actions in order to prevent my low. Because everything you put into your body, how stressed you are, and the external factors within your day-to-day life really do impact your sugar levels. So having to be aware and cognizant of that really does change your outlook on your day and your life. Prior to my diagnosis, I really took my health for granted, but it really changed my outlook on how I treat my body and how exercise really helped me manage my diabetes. It helped keep me within range, but I felt better overall. So when people hear diabetes, they think that you personally did something, like you weren't eating right, you weren't active. So that's why I was very ashamed of coming out and telling people that I am a type 1 diabetic, because there's a lot of miseducation. I didn't really want to be that person to educate people. So I just decided to kind of keep it hush hush until I was comfortable and confident enough. And it was only 4 months. I started sharing on my Instagram initially, and a lot of people were like, wow, thanks for sharing. I really did not have any idea. I think one thing that people may resonate with me most on is being someone who's been diagnosed more recently and somebody who is within their 20s. We tend to live very active social lives, and when you're diagnosed, you tend to want to just kind of stay home, because if you head out and have dinner with somebody, for example, you don't know what impacts it may have on your sugar levels. I am proud with how I'm dealing with this adversity. Every day I'm learning something new. I feel very empowered in the fact that I know and I have the confidence that I'm getting better managing my diabetes every day. I can't control that I have type 1, but I can control how I live with it.